Hi friends, welcome to GATE Academy. Yesterday we were discussing about, I have given a brief introduction about introduction to the GATE and then engineering services and then into the structural analysis. So now today I will be starting the new subject with you. The new subject is Geomatics engineering. Geomatics engineering. Till now you might have called it as surveying, but they changed the name to Geomatics engineering. Why? Because apart from surveying there is photogrammetry and then there is remote sensing, GIS, GPS and all the stuff is there. That's why it is named as surveying. Geomatics engineering. From surveying it changed it to Geomatics engineering. So I have just taken the syllabus from your GATE, GATE 2021 syllabus I am taking, and from this let's see what are the topics, and I'll just give an introduction. Just the first class will always be an introduction class, so this is an introduction class, that's it. I'm not going to discuss any concepts today. So a brief idea about what are the different topics we are going to see here and how important it's for GATE, how important it's for engineering services and all those stuff. Fine. So first thing, whenever I see geomatics engineering, if you remember from GATE perspective, I told you this will be for 4 to 6 marks, and from engineering service perspective this would be some 40 to 60 marks. It can be less than 40 or more than 60. On average I am saying this is 40 to 60 marks from engineering service point of view, and from GATE point of view this would be some 4 to 6 marks. Okay. So now the first thing, whenever I discuss geomatics engineering, first thing what I will do is I will discuss the basic concepts. In the basic concepts, what do we have is, or exactly if I say the first chapter is like some basic concepts, the first topic in that would be objectives of surveying. Objectives of surveying. What exactly, why you are surveying things? What is the need of surveying? Very good olden days, there were trees, there were all those things, like let us say when you don't have this mobile with you or system with you and all this technology with you, in very good olden days, when the Britishers invaded India, or let us say some Afghans invaded India, or whatever it is, you need a route map, right? What exactly is the route to go there? So for that you need a map. How you are going to prepare the map? For that you have to do the survey. That means you have to locate different objects. Major idea of doing surveying is to locate an object. Like, okay, at this point this is the there is a church over here, or there is a temple over here, there is a fort over here, there are buildings over here, there are plain lands over here, there is a river going across this. Fine. So there is a big kingdom is present over here, from that day only, whenever we talk about civil engineering, only thing that comes to your mind, the first and foremost thing that comes to your mind is open the map. So for creating the maps you need survey, right? Exactly. Right now the maps are in your mobiles, Google Maps. Wherever you want to, if you want to go from one place to the other place, it will be based on help of the Google Maps. And Google Maps, for that also the surveying is done based on GIS, GPS, Geographical Information System. Fine. So that is GIS. So based on GIS and GPS, and by using satellites, we are going to plot a point from one point to the other point. The maps or the distance or the way is located by these types of things. That is a major objective of surveying, like location of an object or location of a point, fine, or creation of the maps, and all those stuff will come in the objectives of the surveying. Fine. So fine, if I'll discuss all those things in the objectives of surveying. Next one is types of surveying. types of surveying. If at all I come to the types of surveying, there are two types of surveying, like plane surveying or geodetic surveying, all those things. Like plane surveying means whenever you walk, you feel like your land is plane or horizontal. Plane surveying means this. Here you consider your land as plane, and geodetic surveying means if you consider your land something like circular like this and you are measuring a point, that means generally earth is in globe or circular shape. It will not be in the plane line shape, it will not be flat shape, it will be in the circular shape, right? So if you don't consider the curvature, then the type of surveying is called plane surveying. If you consider the curvature, that means if you are measuring the distance in circular way from here to here, if you are considering the curvature, then it is called geodetic surveying. Then it is called geodetic surveying. Fine, these are the types of things: plane surveying, geodetic surveying. And if generally if it is done by military people, then it is called military surveying. That is the thing. So these are the different types of surveying. Major types of surveying is plane surveying and geodetic surveying. If you consider curvature of the earth, then it is called geodetic surveying. If you don't consider curvature of the earth, if it is very flat, then it is considered as plane surveying. This is just an idea of types of the surveying. And if you classification of the survey, if they ask, next would be classification of surveying. Classification of surveying. Classification is generally done by types of the instruments you are using. Like if you are using chain or tape to measure distance between 2 points, then it is chain surveying. Chain surveying. If you are using levels, like dumpy levels and all those things, then it is called leveling. If you are using theodolite, then it is called theodolite surveying. Theodolite is an instrument which is used to measure horizontal length and angles and all those stuff. Next, tacheometry. Next, plane table. If you are using plane table, then it is called plane table surveying. And if you are using pictures, if you are taking pictures to locate a point, then it is considered as photogrammetry. So that is how the surveying is being classified as. The next point in the basic concepts is principle of surveying. Why exactly you are doing surveying? Principle of surveying. Principle of surveying, the major thing. Principle of surveying, if at all if you ask me, it is about location of a point with respect to the other 2 points. Like there are 2 points which we know, let us say A, B. Let us say A, B, and I have to locate point C. So for this, I will say that this is at a distance of, let us say, A meters, C is at a distance of A meters from C, or B meters from B. You can say like this, or you can measure the angles. You can measure the angles. C is at an angle of, let us say, A degrees, A angle, B angle, this I will say C angle. Ready, at an angle of A degrees, C is at a distance of angle of A, like this angle. At this orientation, you will see C at a distance of A meters, or from here at a distance of B meters at an angle of B, you will locate C. Like this, location of a point with respect to the other 2 points is considered as principle of surveying. Fine. This is one principle. Other principle is like working from part to whole, or from whole to part, part to whole, or from whole to part. Whatever it is, part to whole and whole to part, which one is more useful, that will be discussed in the class. Okay, I am just giving an idea that what are the topics I am going to discuss. So classification of survey, principle of surveying, Principle of surveying or objectives of surveying, everything idea is same, location of a point with respect to the other 2 points. Our idea of surveying is to locate different points, this point, this point, this point, what exactly is present over here, what exactly is present over there, precisable, right? More precisions, fine. So the next point in the basic concepts would be mistakes and errors. Mistakes or errors, both are same, and corrections. Like if error is negative, correction would be positive. If error is positive, correction is negative. What exactly is error? Observed value minus computed value. What exactly is mistakes? How you are going to say mistakes and errors and corrections in your normal life? All those things comes over here. Mistakes, errors, and corrections. Fine. So this is one thing. Mistakes, errors, and correction. These are the different things. Okay. So this is what I'll discuss in the basic concepts. Objectives of surveying, types of surveying, plane surveying, geodetic surveying, classification of the surveying. It depends upon the type of the instrument that you are using over there, and sometimes it can also be depend upon who is the people they are taking over there. Like if military people is connecting, that is considered as military surveying. If normal people are connecting, normal surveying. And if it is done for collecting hydrological data or water table below the ground level. If you are doing survey, if let us say this is the ground level, if you are doing survey to find out the water table below the ground level, then it is considered as hydrological survey. If you want to find out the things that is present over there, if you want to get the topography, terrain, what exactly is the terrain present at that point, then it is considered as topographical survey. Survey can also be classified like this. This would be hydrological survey. If you want to find out amount of rainfall that is occurring, then it would be meteorological survey. And the name, change the name. Even if you want to find out the traffic, then it is called traffic survey. That is discussed in your transportation engineering as traffic studies. And meteorological data or meteorological survey will be discussed in your hydrology. Hydrological data will also be, survey will also be useful in your hydrology. Topography or terrains is the one which we are going to use or which we are going to discuss in our concepts. Fine. So this comes in the basic concepts. In the basic concepts, see, I'll be covering principles of surveying. He just named it like this. In this, I'll be discussing all this stuff. Errors and adjustment, errors, correction, everything. So all these things comes under basic concepts. Fine. So the next one, if you ask me, I'll go with chain surveying. The second chapter would be chain surveying. So if at all, if you consider chain surveying, in chain surveying what we exactly do is, we can use chains to measure the lengths, right? We can use chains, we can use tapes and all those things that is used for measuring the lengths. In that, first I'll be discussing different types of scales. In scales, like plane scale, what exactly is plane scale, what exactly is diagonal scale, what exactly is vernier scale. So plane scale, diagonal scale, vernier scale, and retrograde vernier scale, and different types of scales I'll be discussing over here. And what exactly is RF, representative fraction, what exactly is RF, or like generally if I say scale, that is given as map distance upon the ground distance, what exactly is meant. RF representative fraction is generally given as map distance. Like if there is in ground, if there is 10 meters, I'll not show 10 meters. 10 meters is a big thing. Idea has to be clear. Whenever I'm talking about geomatics engineering, you should have common sense. It's totally common sense. You don't have to apply formulas here, just common sense. Whenever I say 1 meter, this will be approximately 1 meter distance, so you should have that feel. 1 meter means, say it is 1 meter, here also I'll write 1 meter. If you don't have that physical sense, it's of no use. We civil engineers majorly should have physical sense. So 1 meter, you can't keep 1 meter as 1 meter in the map. You'll show that as 1 centimeter, 1 mm or 1 micrometer, something like that only you are going to show, right? So that is called scale, map distance upon ground distance. That can also be called as representative fraction, map distance upon ground distance. Fine. And then least count in these types of scales. What is the least count? Least count means minimum measurement that can be measured by using these scales. When you can use plane scale, when you are going to use diagonal scale, when you are going to use vernier scale, retrograde vernier scale, all the types of the scales will be discussed, and RF is called representative fraction. Like indirectly this is also called as scale, map distance upon ground distance. In ground distance, if it is 10 meters, we will generally show it as 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter upon 10 meters will be your representative fraction or scale. So that would be indirectly 1 into 10 to the power of minus 2 upon 10, 1 upon 1000. Okay. So this is representative fraction, and these are the types of the scales that we are going to see in the chain surveying. And once scales is completed, whenever you are using chain for measuring the length, there can be many errors. So errors can be due to temperature. If errors can be due to temperature, errors can be due to slope, errors can be due to pull, errors can be due to sag. It can be of anything. Like let us say this is a chain. If temperature is more, what happens? Chain expands. Chain expands. Okay. So if chain expands, then you're not, whatever the length you're measuring, it's not the actual length, it's the wrong length. Fine. So you'll be applying correction for it. If temperature is less, chain contracts. So whatever the length you are measuring is wrong length. Okay. So those are the types of things. How you are going to find temperature corrections, errors for that, and slope corrections, pull corrections. If whenever you're pulling the chain gets expanded, so there will be pull corrections. There will be sag, due to its own weight it will sag. It will sag something like this. So let us say if you are measuring horizontal distance like this, instead of measuring like this, you will measure like this. So there is some error, right? So that error, how you are going to find out, all those formulas and errors will be discussed in errors of chain surveying. Fine. So majorly in the chain surveying, I will be discussing these type of scales and these type of errors and what exactly is representative fraction. These are the only things. Generally this will be useful for your engineering services point of view and gate point of view, maximum 2 marks, not more than that. But this is the basics for everything. And in chain surveying, what we'll exactly measure is, we are going to measure only horizontal distances, or we can only measure the distance. We can't measure angles by using chain surveying. We are going to measure only distances. Fine. And then in the chain surveying only, we'll be discussing like offsets, different types of offsets, perpendicular offset or parallel perpendicular offset or inclined offset, all those things. And in this we are going to discuss the cross staff, instruments like cross staff and pegs and all those things. Cross staff, idea is simple. Offset means if I am here exactly perpendicular to me, like if you want to locate a point over there, fine, or let us say there is a point here Fine. That there is a line over here perpendicular to this at some distance. You want to locate a point over here. Then you will keep your cross staff here and you are going to locate this point. So that's instrument how you are going to use, and what is the limiting length of offset. Limiting length of offset, so that there will be no errors. All those things will be discussed. What exactly is offset, what is the perpendicular offset, what are the different types of offsets, and then limiting length of the offset. All those things will be discussed in the chain surveying. Fine. So this is what we'll do in chain surveying. He said different things, but anyway, I'll be using chain surveying over here. From chain surveying, I'll be getting the distance. The next one is compass survey. Compass survey. Everyone knows from very good olden days, the only thing for measuring the angle is compass. Easiest thing for measuring the angles is compass. You are going to measure north, you are going to measure south, you are going to measure south. Generally, you will measure north. From the north, you are going to find out the angles. In this, we will see what exactly is true meridian. What exactly is meant by meridian, true meridian, and what is magnetic meridian, and what is true bearing, and magnetic bearing, true bearing and magnetic bearing. See, here we are going to find out angles. By compass survey, I mean only angles. Fine. True meridian, magnetic meridian, true bearing, magnetic bearing means in that what are the types of the bearing? Whole circle bearing, quadrantal bearing. Bearing means this angle with respect to north. Fine. Whole circle bearing, and then quadrants, different quadrants, north, south, east, west, and then base quadrantal bearings, how you are going to give and how you are going to consider magnetic declination over there. Magnetic declination, effects of magnetic declination, and then effects of local attractions. Effects of local attractions. Fine. So effects of local attractions, magnetic declination, and dip in the angles. Dip means generally the vertical angle. Fine. Whenever I say compass, compass will give you horizontal angles only. It will not give vertical angles. Fine. So angles, if I say, generally horizontal angles. It will not at all give vertical angles, horizontal angles. Fine. So compass survey, horizontal angles, local attractions, that means effects, how magnetic meridian or magnetic bearing is going to change, or magnetic meridian is going to change because of the presence of some magnetic materials over there, some attractions over there, all those things. Chain survey, distance. Compass survey, horizontal angles. So with respect to this, what is the horizontal angle? This is horizontal angle, this is vertical angle. Okay, this is horizontal angle, this is vertical angle, this is horizontal distance, this is vertical distance, generally called as elevations. Fine. So local attractions, dip, all those things will be discussed in compass survey. Fine. What exactly is this? And generally 2 marks. From gate point of view, this will be for 2 marks, and from engineering service point of view, it can be from 4 marks, 4 to 6 marks. Fine. And the problems from this is very simple, provided if you know how to draw the diagrams. How to draw these diagrams, if you know, the problems from this will become very simple. Fine. I am not going to drag anything, I am just giving a simple basic idea. Each and every topic in detail will be discussed. Okay. So what exactly will be the things in the geomatics? I am giving you those things. Okay. Compass survey. So we measured horizontal distance, we measured horizontal angles. The next thing that comes to the picture is theodolite. Theodolite. By using theodolite, it is an instrument which is used to measure horizontal distances. We can measure horizontal distances and angles. Collectively. We can measure both horizontal distances and angles collectively without any problem. By chain surveying we can measure only distances, by compass survey we can measure only the angles. By theodolite we can measure horizontal distances and we can measure angles, and we can measure vertical angles also. We can make vertical angles like this, fine. So different angles, different distances can be found out by using an instrument called theodolite. Here major things that I am going to discuss is temporary adjustments and permanent adjustments. Temporary adjustments and permanent adjustments of theodolite. All this stuff will be discussed. In theodolite, temporary adjustments and permanent adjustments of the theodolite will be discussed. Horizontal distances and angles, but generally from GATE point of view or engineering services point of view, this chapter is not that much important, because this is totally theoretical. What exactly is theodolite, how exactly it will function, I will say then, like left face, right face, and then how you are going to level it, centering it, and all those stuff I will be seeing here, but this is generally not important from GATE point of view. That is what GATE or engineering services point of view. Theory is engineering services, they can ask for 2 or 3 marks in your prelims, not also in mains. In your prelims they might ask you. So this is one such chapter, but the usage of this you will see in the traversing or in tacheometry or in plane table survey. In plane table survey you don't see this, but in traversing the usage of this will be more. Fine. Now if you have done this, next the 5th chapter which I will be discussing would be traversing. Here exactly the idea of surveying is done. Location of a point or closed traverse. Here you will see the closed traverse, different types of traversing. Closed traverse, like this is called closed traverse, and how exactly you are going to generate this by using the theodolites or by using the levels, whatever it is. Different types of traverses you are going to see, and what exactly is latitude, what exactly is departure, what exactly is departure, and this is the closed traverse, and what would be the open traverse, and what are the errors in it, and different types of traversing. Okay, all those things we are going to see in the traversing. Traversing is generally done by theodolites. That is the idea. If you know theodolites, you will know traversing, and traversing is the important concepts in the GATE. If it is 2 marks, but in engineering services 10 to 20 marks will be asked from the traversing, mainly based on this latitude and departures, correction of latitudes and departures. Generally how you are going to get the closed traverse. If traverse is not getting closed, how you are going to reduce that error. So Bowditch method and transit method, different methods are there in reducing the traverse, like resection, different types of traversing. If I say resection, 3-point problem, 2-point problem, all those things. Fine. So all those things will be intersection methods, everything will be discussed in the traversing. Traversing plays an important role in whole surveying. Fine. So this is what we'll be seeing in the traversing. This would be more importance will be given for this. Okay, fine. Next, after traversing, I think this concept everyone enjoys. The next concept that I am saying, that is leveling. Leveling idea is very simple to measure elevations or vertical distance, RLs. elevations or vertical distance or RLs. So here you will be using which one is called as dumpy level, which is the first and foremost thing that we'll be using dumpy level. So here you'll be seeing what exactly that I call it as benchmarks, RLs, reduced levels, what is foresight, what is backside, what is intermediate side, what would be the arithmetic check, right, arithmetic check, all those things will be discussed in your leveling. From this, how you are going to develop the contours will be your next concept. So this is an important thing. If you ask me, same 10 to 20 marks from engineering services point of view, and 2 marks 1 to 2 marks from gate point of view. You can expect a question from here. So that is how you are going to discuss in the we are going to discuss majorly this in the levelings, and different types of methods like height of instrument method or RL methods, or else by using the RLs also you can calculate, or by using the height of instrument method also you can develop a terrain something like this. They'll just ask, if a terrain like this, what is the RL of this, what is the RL of this, what is the RL of this. Reduced level or elevation from any benchmark. If I say this is the benchmark, from the benchmark, how much is this height, how much is this height, how much is this height, how much this height, this height, all these heights are found out by using levels, which is also dumpy levels, that is called as leveling. Fine. So RLs is measured by this. This is one thing. Arithmetically check, like last RL minus first RL is equals to sum of the back sides minus sum of the forward sides. How you are going to take the back side, how you are going to take the forward side. Generally from your 11th class, 12th class, or whenever you start your engineering, the first thing that comes in the surveying is you'll do this one only. After doing chain surveying, horizontal distance, compass surveying, that is angles, and here you are going to measure the vertical distance, theodolite, where you can measure all the distances and angles. Finally, after doing all these things, you are going to develop something called contours. So after leveling, you develop the contours. From the contours, if you know the contours means will give you it's a line joining points of equal elevation. If I say this is 100, means all these points are at a distance of 100 meters above the earth. All these points will be at a distance of 99 meters above the earth. All these points, all the points on the line will be at a distance of 98 meters, this is 99 meters, this is 100 meters from some benchmark. That is the meaning of it. Benchmark can be, generally I take benchmark, generally in India benchmark is taken as Arabian Sea, that is Mumbai, sea level. That is also called as mean sea level. From that mean sea level, what is the height of this, what is the height of this, what is the height of that. So by using contours, you are going to measure areas and volumes. By using contours, you are going to measure areas and volumes. When measurement of areas and volumes is done by using contours. Fine. So this is one thing. By using contours, you are going to measure areas and volumes. And you can get the terrains also, but anyway, the idea is to measure areas and volumes. Those things will be discussed in contours. Here, this from engineering services point of view, you can get 5 to 10 marks. I'll be using that trapezoidal formula, Simpson's formula, average ordinate rule, all those things will be seen here. By using those things only, you are going to measure the areas, you are going to measure the volume and all those stuff. Fine. So this is contours. The next concept would be, after this, then I'll introduce you to tacheometry. Tacheometry, tachiometer, that is also an instrument which will directly give, and if at all if I go with the tacheometry, there will be a lens, there will be 3 hairs which is also called as stadia hair, and then in middle point we will be taking something like from the middle point we are going to, let us say if this is S1, this is S2, this distance I am going to take S, and from this tachyometer you will get horizontal distance, horizontal distance, vertical distance, horizontal distance, vertical distance, and then horizontal angles and vertical angles, horizontal angles, and finally you will also get the vertical angles, horizontal distance, vertical distance, horizontal angles and vertical angles. This is tachyometry. By using tachyometry, these are also called as stadia hairs. Stadia hairs. So these are stadia hairs. By using, you can measure that all these things can be found out by one single instrument, that is called tachyometer, and doing the surveying by using tachyometer is called tachyometry. So here also you can get some 5 to 10 marks in engineering services. Very rarely you will get a question in GATE, but there also you can get from the GATE also, like how to find the distance. D is equals to Ks plus C. You might have seen this, multiplying constant, additive constant, all those stuff will be seen in the tachyometry. Fine. So all these things will be discussed in tachyometry. The next point is, next type of surveying is, or leveling, I will say trigonometrical leveling. Your 9th one is trigonometrical leveling. Trigonometrical leveling, it's just game of tan theta, sin theta, cos theta. That means you are keeping your tachyometer over here or any dumpy level over here. If you want to get the elevation of it, tan theta, if tan theta is equals to vertical distance upon horizontal distance, tan theta is equals to V upon D. So if you know D, we can calculate V. That is the idea. In trigonometrical leveling, we are going to do only this one, and 2 marks is asked from this. 2 marks is asked from this every year. 2 marks is asked from this. Not every year, I mean majority of the times 2 marks generally you will get. Engineering services you may not get, but here you will get. In engineering services also, if there is a possibility of getting 5 marks. And here I will be discussing, like, you know, sensitivity of the bubble tube, sensitivity of bubble tube, what exactly is sensitivity of bubble tube and how it is going to affect the things, how it is going to affect the things in the trigonometrical leveling. All those things will be seen here. Sensitivity of, that is an important concept, that's why I have included it in the trigonometrical leveling. So all those things will be discussed in the trigonometrical leveling. Basic things like, you know, tan theta from your 11th class to 10th class, that concept is only one that is used over here in trigonometrical leveling. The next one, after this, the next one, I'll take you into the type of surveying that is called plane table surveying. Plane table surveying. Plane table surveying, what we'll do here, this is also type of traversing. There will be a table like this. I told you there will be 2-point problem, 3-point problem and all those things. That will be exactly seen, application will be seen here in plane table surveying. So a table will be given to you. On the table there will be a chart. You are going to clip that chart and all those things, and you will take the tripod, you will keep the table on the tripod, and then from that you will keep on developing the traverse, or keep on locating the points. That is what you will be doing in the plane table surveying or plane table leveling. So what exactly is alidade, that is the scale that is used over here, how you are going to use the compass or magnetic north, and then just rods and pegs, all those things will be seen here. And generally in GATE 1 or 2 marks, 1 to 2 marks was asked once in a while, and from engineering services point of view, some decent amount of marks, like explain 2-point problem, explain 3-point problem, explain resection, explain intersection, all those things was asked. So theoretical questions can be asked from plane table surveying. Fine. After this, after this, next one would be curves. Curves. So your 12th chapter would be curves. In curves, horizontal curves. Horizontal curves. You might have seen this in your, you know, transportation also, but once again will be discussed over here. Horizontal curves, vertical curves, horizontal curves and vertical curves. All those things. Horizontal curves means this is horizontal curve. This one is horizontal curve. Vertical curve means this is vertical curve. If I show like vertical curve, I will show something like this. Horizontal curve, I will show something like this. Sir, both are same? No, no. Horizontal curve is this in the horizontal plane. Vertical curve means this is the vertical curves. Fine. So what are the you know, points that is required in the setting of horizontal curves and vertical curves? Idea is to setting of curves. Setting of curves. How you are going to set a curve? Different types of methods: offset method, you know, mid-ordinate method, and two theodolite method, one theodolite method. Different methods are there. We will be discussing those methods also over here. That is setting of the curves. Generally, when you are going in a ghat roads or, you know, mountains, you will see horizontal curves or you will see some vertical curves. So these types of idea will help you how you are going to generate those curves in the field. Fine. So this would be for curves. Horizontal curves, vertical curves, setting of the curves, and from GATE point of view, same 1 to 2 marks, rarely asked, and from engineering services point of view, 10 to 20 marks. It is asked one question that will that was asked for 20 marks directly. Setting of curve they have asked, and basic question, just calculate the basic things, you get the answer. 20 marks, literally 20 marks. You know, in second paper, generally maximum, you know, there will be theoretical questions. In engineering services, in second paper conventional, more number of theoretical questions will be there. So if at all, if you see some mathematical question, you should not leave that, and mathematical questions, the option is geomatics engineering. So in curves, before year, I think in 2019 they have asked 20 marks for setting of curves. You can easily score those marks, scoreable marks. That's what no, that is scoreable marks. So this is curves, your 12th chapter. And then 13th or something like that, 12 is curves, 11 is plane table surveying. Yeah, so this was 10, not 11. 10. So curves is 11. Next, like I think I have done a mistake over here, so these types of mistakes will be discussed. Your chapter itself says mistakes, or I can also say errors, precision, all those stuff will be discussed over here. Errors, precision, what is the weightage that is given to you, I mean weightage that is given to different types of errors, how you are going to find out the accuracy, what exactly is meant by accuracy, what exactly is meant by precision, how you are going to reduce the errors, how you are going to correct those errors. All those things will be discussed in errors and precision. Recently in GATE, people are not asking much from this, but in engineering services they are asking for 2 marks. That is also majorly in the prelims. So basic concepts, we can easily find out those things. Next one which plays an important role is photogrammetry. So from here, once the photos started, once people started inventing the photos, our total game plan changed. Before that and all, they were using all these equipments, and once the photos started, what they have done is they have started taking photographs, horizontal photographs, vertical photographs, you know. So horizontal photographs, vertical photographs. By using the photographs only, they started measuring the distance between 2 points. measuring the angles between 2 points, measuring the vertical distance between 2 points, measuring the vertical angles between any 2 points, location of the point. So horizontal photographs, vertical photographs. Vertical photographs generally will be taken by aeroplanes, planes are used for vertical photographs, like generally you will be moving in the plane there will be camera will be capturing the photo, automatically all these images you will get in the things. And if you are keeping like this, like this camera, you can take my image, right? All those things, images will be there. Once if you click the picture of that, based upon the picture you are going to measure the scale of photograph, and what is the focal length, focal length, everything will come into the picture. Focal length and distance between 2 points, focal point, and distance between same horizontal distance, like we have what we have done in the chain surveying, horizontal distance that can be measured from the photograph itself, and then horizontal angles that can also be measured from photograph itself, vertical distance, vertical angles, all these 4 things can be easily measured by photographs. So that's what we'll see in photogrammetry. And every time, maximum, recently they are majorly focusing on this 2 marks. Every consecutive year we are seeing 2 marks, or in either in morning session or evening session they are asking photogrammetry for 2 marks. Photogrammetry they are literally asking for 2 marks. So you have to be very much cautious on photogrammetry. And in your engineering services they are asking this for 5 marks, 5 to 10 marks. Both in prelims and mains they are focusing on photogrammetry. So idea is very simple. Whatever we are going to discuss, the same type of questions are not going to change, but you should be thorough with the concepts. Generally how you are going to measure the relief displacement or height of the tower, that is called as, how you are going to measure, all those things will be discussed in photogrammetry. Once photogrammetry is completed, the next one is remote sensing, GIS, GPS, geographical information system, remote sensing. So remote sensing and all those things, like remote sensing, based on the remote sensing we can locate the points by passing the electrical waves. We can get the terrain, we can get the hydrological data, everything, all the information and data can be collected by using the sensors. That is called remote sensing. And all these types of topics are theoretical topics. And if at all, generally in previous gate I have seen some questions, they are asking general knowledge questions from this, like which satellite is used for this, which satellite is used for that. And we are not right now we are trying to move away from this GPS, global positioning system. We are using the US satellite, whereas India is developing its own satellite, or IRNSS, the satellite which is generally called as Indian Regional Navigation System. So this satellite is used for we are trying to give these type of our own maps. Instead of using that GPS Google Maps, we are trying to find out IRNSS. We are using our satellite to give our own maps, all those things. So majorly, generally general knowledge questions are asked from this, like what type of satellite is used for the, if it is in the news, then they are going to ask for this. So if you are preparing that general knowledge also, then it will be easy for you. If not, sometimes, not only if it is if you are not able to solve this general knowledge question, 99% of people will not be able to solve that. 1% of people who preparing that general knowledge paper also might be able to solve this question. But majority of people, if it is from general knowledge, you will not be able to solve it. But if it is conceptual, the theory that I am discussing with you will help you in solving the questions from this. This is your gate syllabus. And one more extra thing will be there in your engineering services, that is astronomical survey. astronomical survey. So astronomical survey means I am not going to say how exactly would be your future and all those things. No, that I am not going to discuss those things here. I will be discussing with respect to the sun, what is the location of the earth, what is the point of location of the any point on the earth, or like Jupiter, Mars, or different satellites. We will be discussing like what is zenith, what is nadir line, what is zenith, what is nadir, what exactly is astronomical triangle, and all those stuff. I am not going to this is not astrology. Astrology is different from astronomical survey. It's like whatever I did it in the earth, I will be doing the same thing in the universe. So based upon the universal thing, I will locate your location, locate your point with respect to the universe. And what exactly is triangulation survey? I will be saying this triangulation survey, like with respect to the three triangulation survey with respect to three satellites, how you are going to how I am going to locate a point with respect to the three satellites. Generally triangulation is used to locate a point. Fine. How exactly it is done, all those stuff will be discussed here. From engineering services point of view, I am going to discuss this. Fine. 2 to 3 marks, not more than that, from astronomical survey also. So these are the topics, 15 topics that I generally divide everything surveying into the geomatics engineering into the 15 topics. All the topics will be discussed with you. And if you ask me the books that you want to follow, Surveying by B.C. Punmeya, Basic Things, and my class notes is also enough, or Bhavikatti. These guys are enough. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3 is there. So B.C. Punmeya, Bhavikatti and all those. If you want to refer for more amount of problems, you can do that. This is one of the idea. Okay. So these are the concepts that I will be discussing in your geomatics engineering. If you see the maps, scale, coordinate systems, distance, angle measurements, like chain surveying and compass surveying. In that levelings, I discussed trigonometrical leveling, traversing, triangulation survey. Total station is an instrument. Yeah, I missed this. This will also be discussed in your remote sensing thing. So how exactly total station, that instrument works, and what are the some points in that instrument. That instrument is also like it will give everything more precisely. Recently everyone for any survey, like for road survey and all those things, they are using this instrument only. Dumpy levels, many less people are using it, many people are going with total stations only. So then horizontal and vertical curves, that will be discussed in the curves, and then photogrammetry, remote sensing, scale, flying height and all those things you will see in your photogrammetry, and then basics of remote sensing and GIS, Geographical Information System. Everything, idea is simple. Once again I am saying, I will be discussing something in the class, you have to revise, solve the questions that is given to you in the booklet, and then repeat. Same thing, repeat. Whatever the doubts you have, you can ask directly in our live chat or in the other types of stuff. So yeah, that's it, and all the your doubts and everything will be answered accordingly. So this is the introduction. I think today class is very less, but anyway, these are just introductions. From tomorrow, tomorrow I'll be taking structural analysis for you. I'll be starting my concepts, the first chapter like static indeterminacy, and then the day after tomorrow I'll start with surveying. So one day will be your structural analysis, next day will be your surveying. Okay, till that time, have a nice day. This is Karthik signing off.